Carl Jung, the famous Swiss psychologist of the 20th century, once shared a thought that has stayed relevant through the years: intuition and perception through the unconscious. This idea holds a lot of meaning and, when explored, leads us deep into the complex workings of the human mind. Intuition, the feeling or sense that comes without clear logic, varies from person to person. According to Jung, these instinctive feelings offer us a unique insight into our true selves. They're like threads that make up the fabric of our being, revealing hidden, often unknown parts of our psyche. The process of individuation, a key idea in Jung's work, is about self-discovery, learning to recognize and integrate the deepest aspects of ourselves. It's an ongoing journey where we uncover our most personal goals, strengths, and weaknesses. In this quest for authenticity, understanding the unconscious mind is essential. Jung talks about the shadow, the darker, repressed part of our psyche that holds things we try to deny, like anger, jealousy, and greed. These traits hide deep within us, waiting to be acknowledged. But ignoring them only makes them stronger. When we repress these feelings, they can resurface unexpectedly, causing emotional outbursts or unfairly projecting onto others. This is where we find a source of our less helpful intuitions. Those gut feelings we can't explain often come from the depths of our shadow, reflecting unresolved inner conflicts. Jung also believed unconscious archetypes play a major role in shaping our intuition. Archetypes, part of a collective unconscious shared by all people, are innate parts of our personality that develop over time. This explains why people from different backgrounds and eras can have similar traits. Archetypes are natural patterns in our minds, helping us understand and respond to the world. One common archetype Jung identified is the caregiver, the deep human drive to take care of others. Understanding these archetypes is key to understanding our intuitive feelings, and learning to listen to them can transform our lives. Jung's teachings guide us on the path to self-knowledge. He stressed that intuition isn't just a passive experience, but an active, creative process. This intuitive ability helps us understand not only the outside world, but also our inner world. To better understand our intuitions, Jung encourages us to explore our unconscious, especially through the analysis of our shadow. This exploration is part of the individuation process and can be supported by practices like meditation, self-reflection, and examining our dreams, fantasies, and behaviors. Keeping a dream journal, for example, can be a powerful tool. By writing down our dreams right after waking up, we start to uncover the messages our unconscious mind sends us. These practices help us tap into the depths of our psyche, offering valuable insights about ourselves and our surroundings. At night, we carry with us worries, desires, and fears that can weigh us down. This raises the question: does this mental load affect our shadow and, in turn, our intuitions? Sometimes, in response, we may feel the need to act more decisively or mask our insecurities with a false sense of confidence. While this may seem like a typical response, it can actually be surprisingly effective. Understanding our intuitions is an ongoing process that requires regular reflection. Observing how we feel, act, and make decisions in our daily lives is the first step. We must take time now and then to reflect on why we make certain choices. What was I trying to achieve? Was there something else I was seeking? This kind of questioning helps us dive deeper into our psyche and better understand our intuitions. Reflection can be built into our daily routine or practiced during quiet moments. It could be as simple as meditating on our thoughts, or better yet, writing them down. This kind of introspection is often called journaling, which is an invaluable tool for exploring our inner world. Examining our shadow is another important step in the journey to self-knowledge. It's a tough and continuous process, but one that's very rewarding. By recognizing what we suppress in ourselves, we discover hidden forces that influence our intuitions. To truly understand them is to navigate the dark maze of our psyche, but it's also the way to integrate all parts of ourselves. Another important factor that shapes how we see the world is our collective archetypes. Understanding the archetypes in our unconscious minds helps us better grasp our instincts. Recognizing these patterns allows us to understand how we react and perceive different situations. People can be categorized in many ways, and one common method is using Jungian archetypes, which represent common behavioral and psychological traits found across cultures and throughout history. By identifying which archetype best defines us, we can better understand our instincts and how they influence our personal, social, and professional lives. When we look at intuition, we discover a wide range of perceptions that often reflect different aspects of our personality. These intuitions, which become clearer the more we know ourselves, can reveal a lot about our natural tendencies. For example, someone who identifies with the caregiver archetype may have intuitions that focus on caring for others and responding to their needs. This connection to a specific archetype can shape how we perceive and respond to various situations. Carl Jung, a pioneer in studying the human mind, identified two main types of intuition: introverted intuition and extroverted intuition. Introverted intuition is focused on inner thought, logical recognition, and identifying patterns. Extroverted intuition, on the other hand, is about exploring new possibilities and seeking creative solutions. Introverted intuition looks inward for information, using clues from within to solve problems or predict future events. Extroverted intuition looks outward for ideas and solutions, often coming up with creative answers spontaneously. By reflecting on our intuition, we can discover whether our perceptions lean more introverted or extroverted, and understand what kind of information we base our intuitive decisions on. For example, if we reject an offer, is it because our internal intuition feels uneasy, or because we've heard something negative about the person making the offer? Understanding the nature of our intuition gives us valuable insight into our unconscious personality. By recognizing and enhancing both types of intuition, we can make decisions that align more closely with our values and personal goals. Intuition. This ongoing stream of perceptions and gut feelings guiding us through life is constantly changing. That's why self-reflection becomes so important. It's a continuous process that requires us to stay aware of our subconscious, behavior, and archetypes. By paying attention to our inner feelings and reviewing our immediate reactions, we can unlock the mysteries of our intuition and better understand which type of intuition arises in different situations. Removing obstacles that block our gut feelings is an important part of this journey. As Jung said, we cannot change anything until we accept it. Even just recognizing the feeling that's holding us back can be a first step. But self-growth goes beyond mere self-awareness. It's about accepting and integrating all parts of ourselves to become whole. During this process, we may find that we have introverted, instinctive feelings linked to certain archetypes or conflicts within our shadow. For example, think of someone who is naturally confident and optimistic, qualities associated with the innocent archetype. But when others take advantage of these qualities, feelings of mistrust or fear might surface, reflecting the shadow aspects that we tend to repress. Self-reflection helps us dive deep into these layers of our psyche, embracing both our light and dark sides. Through ongoing introspection and acceptance, we can better understand our intuition and live more authentically, bringing more clarity and coherence to our daily lives. The negative traits we all carry can actually be a valuable source of accurate intuition. When we face injustice or see others treated unfairly, our instinctive feelings may come from our own darker traits. For example, if someone treats us selfishly, we might sense a feeling of injustice or resentment based on our own experience. However, these intuitions can be blocked by the innocent archetype if we hold on to our idealism and deny our darker traits. The innocent archetype can prevent us from recognizing these valuable intuitions. Similarly, if we become overly cautious and mistrustful, we may struggle to trust others or depend on them. So, how can we stop our instinctive feelings from being blocked? Jung suggests that the path to self-growth involves consciously integrating our conscious self and our subconscious, rather than seeing them as two separate parts of our mind. We need to learn to accept all parts of ourselves. This process isn't easy. Facing and accepting all aspects of ourselves, even the darker or more fearful ones, can be daunting. But it's essential for achieving balance and authenticity in our lives. Only by embracing all parts of ourselves can we truly be optimistic and confident without falling into naivety or blindness. It's a challenging journey, but it's crucial for personal growth and for better understanding ourselves and the world around us. Facing and accepting the parts of ourselves we don't like can feel uncomfortable or even unsettling. Who wants to admit they have jealousy, selfishness, or a tendency to lie? It's natural to resist accepting these darker aspects of our personality. But each negative trait actually has a positive side, even though it's often overlooked. By embracing our shadows, we become more human and compassionate toward ourselves. We also increase our ability to empathize with others, understanding that everyone has their own internal struggles. This acceptance allows us to confront our weaknesses honestly and turn them into strengths or valuable life lessons. For example, realizing our selfishness can push us to become more generous and considerate of others. Clearing the obstacles that block our natural feelings is an important step in the journey to self-understanding. As Jung said, we cannot change anything until we accept it. Recognizing the feelings that hold us back is a first step, but individuation, or becoming our true selves, requires more than just self-awareness. It means accepting and integrating all parts of ourselves to become whole. During this process, we might discover that we have feelings or traits linked to certain archetypes or conflicts in our shadow. For instance, someone might be naturally confident and optimistic, qualities tied to the innocent archetype. But when these qualities are exploited, feelings of distrust or fear may surface. These are parts of the shadow that we might be unconsciously repressing. Self-reflection helps us dig deep into our psyche, acknowledging both our positive and negative traits. By doing this, we gain a more complete and authentic understanding of our intuition, leading to more clarity and balance in our daily lives. Our negative traits can actually be a valuable source of intuition. When we experience injustice, either personally or toward others, feelings may arise from our own shadow traits. For example, if someone is selfish toward us, we might feel anger or resentment, a reaction that's linked to our own sense of injustice. However, these intuitions might be blocked by the innocent archetype. If we lean too much on our idealized innocence and deny our darker traits, the archetype may prevent us from fully recognizing the feelings coming from our shadow. If we hold on to mistrust and caution too tightly, we risk becoming people who don't know how to trust or depend on others. So, how can we keep our instinctive feelings from being blocked? According to Jung, the path to individuation involves merging our conscious and unconscious selves instead of treating them as separate parts of our psyche. We must accept all aspects of ourselves. This isn't easy. Facing and accepting even our darkest traits can be scary. But it's essential for finding balance and authenticity in our lives. Only when we embrace every part of ourselves can we be truly confident without falling into blind optimism. It's a challenging process, but it's crucial for personal growth and for understanding ourselves and the world around us. Acknowledging the parts of ourselves we don't like can be uncomfortable. Who wants to admit they have jealousy, selfishness, or a tendency to lie? It's easy to resist embracing these darker parts of our personality, but each of these negative traits has a positive side, one that's often overlooked. Accepting our shadows helps us become more human and compassionate toward ourselves, and it also broadens our ability to empathize with others. Everyone has their own inner struggles. By accepting our shadows, we can confront our weaknesses honestly and turn them into strengths or valuable lessons. For instance, recognizing our selfishness might encourage us to become more generous and mindful of others' needs. Embracing our shadows leads to a more authentic, balanced life, free from self-deception. Negative emotions like fear and mistrust can act as defense mechanisms to protect us from harm. Anger can motivate us to stand up for ourselves, and jealousy or selfishness can drive us to persevere. In other words, even negative traits can serve a useful purpose in certain situations. Even if our shadow's intuition is blocked by an archetype, the shadow still plays an important role. It can warn us or remind us of our vulnerability. Understanding and accepting these traits is key to using the shadow to help us rather than fight against it. We can ask ourselves, when have these less than ideal traits been useful? How can they help us face challenges or reach our goals? By balancing our inner traits and archetypes, we gain a deeper understanding of ourselves and our interactions with the world. The shadow and archetypes are here to teach us about who we really are and why we act the way we do. When we understand and manage every part of our psyche, it becomes a powerful tool for personal growth. As Jung said, repressing these aspects limits our ability to fully understand and use our deepest instincts. Looking at problems from different perspectives can be especially helpful for introverts who may benefit from considering issues from various angles. This might include viewing things from someone with different opinions, imagining a future version of themselves, or thinking from the perspective of a fictional character or anyone they can relate to. This practice encourages mental flexibility and sparks new ideas. Meditation and self-reflection are powerful tools for exploring our inner world. By observing our thoughts as if we were outside observers, we can recognize them and let them pass. This practice helps us become more aware of our gut reactions and better understand the influence of our deeper selves, like our shadow and archetypes, in our lives. When we nurture this awareness, we approach life with an open mind, using our intuitions in a more effective and constructive way. This process also helps clear our minds of distractions, creating space for creativity and new insights. Sticking with reflection is important. Even though it may seem like we're doing nothing while meditating or reflecting, it's crucial to keep going. By staying open and reflecting even when ideas aren't clear, we allow new thoughts and original ideas to surface that we might otherwise overlook. Carl Jung's work in understanding the human mind reminds us how important it is to explore our deepest thoughts and trust our intuitions. Through practice and perseverance, we can gain a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us, unlocking new possibilities and meaning. Jung believed that creative activities like drawing, journaling with metaphors, or storytelling could help us gain fresh insights when faced with challenges. These creative outlets offer a way to look at problems from a new perspective. To strengthen our extroverted intuition, we can take steps to expose ourselves to new experiences and connect with different viewpoints. Here are some ideas. Explore new situations. Putting ourselves in new environments challenges us to step outside our comfort zone and encounter different perspectives. Try new things. Taking up activities or hobbies we've never tried before helps expand our minds and brings fresh experiences and ideas. Connect with diverse people. Engaging with people from different backgrounds broadens our understanding of the world and exposes us to new ways of thinking. In addition, activities like creating mind maps are great tools for boosting creativity and innovation. When we brainstorm on paper, we push ourselves to explore new ideas and fully explore everything we know about a topic. Combining unrelated ideas or concepts can lead to new solutions and perspectives that we might not have considered. Just like mixing different colors in a drawing or merging seemingly unrelated ideas. The more we practice this, the sharper our minds become, and the more useful our intuitive feelings will be. Learning to think outside the box allows us to tap into intuitions we may not have accessed before. These activities help us connect with our deeper selves and tune into our innate intuition, giving us greater clarity and understanding. All these practices are valuable tools for sharpening the mind and uncovering more of our unconscious, which in turn helps strengthen our intuitions. The more we explore our minds, the more our instincts can guide us. but it's important not to get lost in them. As Jung famously said, intuitives are often very poor because they never expect a harvest. This reminds us that intuition alone isn't enough for success. It needs to be balanced with logical thinking and careful action. While our gut feelings can offer valuable insights, they can also be influenced by less desirable parts of our unconscious. The real skill comes in balancing intuition with rational judgment and making decisions that are both innovative and grounded in reality. Finding the right balance between intuition and reason is key to making the most of our creativity and achieving lasting success. As we've discussed, a positive gut feeling can be blocked by negative emotions, leading us down harmful paths. For example, anger can provide useful information, but it can also be destructive if it causes us to act in ways that alienate others. Similarly, the caregiver archetype can give us great intuition, but it might also make us neglect our own needs to focus on others. That's why it's important not to rely solely on our instincts, but to use them as a guide, alongside reason and careful consideration. By balancing intuition with conscious thought, we can make better decisions and improve our well-being, as well as the well-being of others. Intuition should not be taken lightly. One of the toughest parts of listening to our gut feelings is the need to accept when someone or something doesn't turn out the way we hoped or expected. Another common issue is when our intuition seems to guide us toward something good, but there's actually a better option available. In these cases, it's important to pause and think rationally about whether our instinct is truly valid. We need to weigh the pros and cons of our feelings. What is our gut telling us, and does it make sense? Why does one choice feel right while the other doesn't? If the more logical option doesn't feel right, it's important to explore that doubt. What's causing us to question it? Digging into these doubts can help us better understand our intuition and why we feel the way we do. There are different ways to access our unconscious feelings, like meditation, drawing, journaling, or even creating mind maps. These activities can offer us more clarity and perspective. Sometimes the answer will come from an unexpected place, but it's important not to rush the decision-making process. Understanding why we make a choice is key. For example, if we get a job offer with a great salary, but something feels off, we should take the time to reflect. Maybe we've heard negative things about the company, or certain details about the offer don't seem clear. Recognizing these potential red flags could save us from a bad situation later on. On the other hand, if our gut feeling is more about anxiety or self-doubt, it might be helpful to confront that feeling and use it as a challenge. Maybe we should take the job and see how it turns out. There are also times when our intuition leads us to do something that seems logical, but we still choose a different path. Jung warns that we should be cautious in these situations because there might be other options we haven't thought of yet. So, before making any big decisions, it's wise to take a step back and reflect. Maybe create a mind map, meditate, or do something creative to clear your head. Sometimes there are consequences or alternatives we haven't explored yet. Only when we've considered all the options can we feel confident in making the best choice. People who always rely on their intuition without careful thought may miss out on the planning and patience needed to reach their goals. Spontaneity can be great, but it can also lead to mistakes. Reflection is what truly strengthens our ability to use our intuition in a thoughtful and balanced way, combining it with rational thinking to make better decisions. If you've found value in this content, I invite you to dig deeper with us. Subscribe so you don't miss any future insights. Leave a like if this journey has helped you in any way, and share it so others can benefit from it too. Your comments guide us, so let me know what stood out to you today. Is there something you'd like us to explore more in depth?